Hello there, dear viewer, and welcome to attaQ. My name is Jakob and I made a huge mistake in yesterday's video. So yesterday being on a Wednesday, the 22nd of April 2020. Well, I put up a video called My Top iOS DAW and Music Production App, and in it I am talking about 4 music production apps that I use on a regular basis and why. It's something my viewers have been asking me about a lot over the years, and I finally decided to make a video about it, and it seems that a lot of you liked it. The problem is that I made such a huge mistake, and I've been trying to figure out how I did that. So I'm referring to the segment where I'm talking about NanoStudio 2. It's a brilliant app with a brilliant synthesizer and a brilliant drum sampler in there. Now, in that video, I'm stating that it cannot load audio unit extensions. And that is so wrong, because it can load audio unit instruments and it can load audio unit effect plugins. And I can prove it by doing this. So if you've ever heard my Mellow album, then you might actually recognize this tune. I've recreated something that was originally built inside Cubase. Well, I've recreated it here in NS2 with audio unit extension plugins. Like I said, if you've heard my Mellow album, you'll probably recognize that song. Now, I've been trying to figure out how this even happened. Now, a mistake like this is not something I want to make again in the future. I'm bound to make mistakes at one point or another, but if I can figure out what it is in my process that needs correcting, then I'll be less likely to make the same mistake again in the future. So I need to check my process. And so that's what I'm going to be presenting you quickly in this video. My process for seeing where it all went wrong. The first thing I wanted to do is to check if I somehow knew this information and forgot about it. So I went back and checked my Obsidian video. It's a very in-depth docutorial, meaning it's got tutorial parts going through the entire synth together with loads of sound examples and also interview parts with Matt Borstel, the guy who actually makes NanoStudio. There's just one guy, for those of you who are thinking that this is a team. It's just one guy making this one, and it took him about 4 or 5 years to make NanoStudio 2. Well, after checking through that entire video, there are no mentions of audio unit extensions. I never go into it because I'm simply just focusing on the synth. But I found this comment in the comment section. So at this point, I was told by a viewer that it has audio units. So somehow I must have forgotten it. Okay, so how did I miss every other cue? Because there are more cues in here actually telling you that this thing can load audio unit extensions. Well, I have been mentioning that I like Obsidian and Slate so much, and I've been feeling very pleased with what they can bring. I've never felt that I needed to add anything else in here, like any other app or any other synth, simply because Obsidian is so fully fledged. Go and watch that Obsidian synth docutorial thing and you'll see how deep it is. It's one of the best synthesizers on the iOS platform. It can even load samples in there, together with 7 different types of synthesis engines. And the Slate drum sampler is just as powerful. So those two are 2 legitimate reasons to why I've never felt like I needed to load anything else. Okay, so I've never reached for anything else. However, there are more cues, and I did discover something yesterday that I've completely missed. Okay, so when I open up NanoStudio, I'll just start with a new track if I'm not working on something. And when you're doing that, you get this. So here you have a Slate, and then you have Obsidian right here. Now, when you press the plus sign, it will always give you another Obsidian track. No matter what you've got selected up here, it will always give you another Obsidian track. So in order for you to have another instance of Slate, something I've done in several projects, well, you have to go down here and long press on the plus sign. And then you have to move your finger past this thing here.
Bruh.
And I think that I've been focusing on just adding another instance of Slate. I've never ever registered this thing here. By the way, this is not the only place where this is a thing. And when you open this up, you have two lists. And so I've missed this thing here. That's great. That's great, Jakob. And when you press that, what do you get? Well, you get audio units. So let me tell you something about me real quick. You're watching videos by a guy who actually used to be one of those people that... Oh, hi, Kai.
Hey man, just wanted to let you know that actually you can totally load audio units in NanoStudio.
I'm sitting here recording a video about it right now. And so what I was trying to say is that back in the day, I used to have a big problem with admitting to myself that I could be wrong. Yeah. So in order for me to stop this from happening, mistakes like this, first I need to admit that I did something wrong and that it's my fault. And then I need to do something about it. So what am I going to do about this? Well, I usually write myself a checklist for doing stuff. Whenever I need a process of going about finding something out or testing something, I have this checklist. And I'll be making a checklist, a more in-depth checklist for myself when it comes to reviewing DAWs or music production apps. So that's my solution, basically.
Bruh.
I don't know if you found this interesting. Either way, if you stayed throughout this and you're still here, if you didn't see that video from yesterday, then here's the link to it popping out in the upper right corner. And just keep that in mind that when you get to the part where I'm saying that NanoStudio 2 cannot load audio unit extensions, I'm wrong because it can. And you've now seen evidence of that. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching. And as usual, I wish you a very productive week. Now go finger all of your stuff and have a lot of fun doing it.